Hello all, welcome to study 13 of the Solving Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This study is from Friedrich Ludwig Balthasar Amelung. This was a Russian chess composer. He born during the Russian Empire, but he is from the nowadays Estonia area. He was known as an historian. He studied a lot about the culture of the German Baltic civilization around him, with the cities and so on. And also, he was a businessman. He was a director in a big factory of mirrors that was founded by his grandfather. So he also did a lot on the cultural aspect of the area he was born. Besides that, of course, he was a chess composer. He also edit magazines and so on. So an important person. He played chess also. He had the luxury of playing against Anderson, against Newman, against Meyer. So very interesting also to learn about Friedrich Ludwig Balthasar Amelung. In total, he composed around 250 studies, and this is one of them. This is one of the good samples because he was kind of tending for minimalist studies with very direct solutions. So let's see if you enjoy this one. As always, if you haven't watched the guide, to get some guides about the practice, and after the countdown, I see you with a solution. And here we are for the solution. As always, let's start with the first only good move. Bishop e2 check. If you notice, well, the idea is simple. If the king takes the bishop, then we take the pawn and it's an easy win for white. Not so easy the solution. Nevertheless, I think this is not one of the hardest studies on the series. Let's see just a bit why this is the only move. Because of course, black is threatening to promote the pawn. And as far as I see, unless you want to sacrifice the rook already and then the king takes the rook and the bishop can't deliberate alone, of course, you need to avoid that. And the only way possible is to use this decoy, attracting the king to take the bishop so we can take the pawn. Of course, moves like now for the defense are also easy because with rook c1, well, we simply attack the pawn with two pieces, and let's see, for example, if the king moves, then we take the pawn, and also again it's gonna be an easy win. So the king goes up. The king goes up, and of course now we have a tempo because black can't promote while the rook is spinning the pawn. This is also a good clue for what we can do. So we need to keep the pinning, otherwise we can't control the promotion. Like if we take the rook outside, of course it's gonna be a promotion, the obvious. Things like going with the bishop, for example, far away, not a good idea because now we can simply threat again to promote, and you can search whatever you want. Either you sacrifice the rook now, or you are going to be in trouble if black promotes to the queen. So here, the best move probably is even to sacrifice now, and this is not an option. The other option, not also very good, but already demanding some calculation, is to go with the rook a2. So we keep the pin, forcing the king to move away. Let's see, for example, the king goes up. Now we are threatening again to promote to the queen, and there's no way our king can approach to avoid that. So we basically are forced to check the king. If the king comes back, well, this is a big mistake because we kind of recover from the mistake. How? Just giving a check. This is going to be similar to the main line, so I will spare you the trouble and let's wait for the main line to see how we win this from here. So here, the best move for black, unexpectedly, is to go king b4 because now what happens? The only way to avoid the promotion is to bring the king, but now I promote to sacrifice. So when the king takes back, I take back the rook, and this is a draw. So as you can see, there are only more or less the team of taking out the bishop, keeping the rook in the same rank, and the last one and only good move is to play king a1. So spending the tempo to force black to play again. Of course, as we saw already, the pawn is pinned, so can't promote. So the king goes, and the best move, of course, is not to go to the front. Otherwise, I will bring the bishop and attack the pawn with two pieces. So go to c3. Now we check the king. The king needs to come back to force the promotion. Otherwise, if it goes far away, then we simply approach our king and the promotion is controlled forever. So the only move is over here. So this is the similar one that we saw when the rook went to the line that the rook went to a2, then a3 on the previous analysis. And here, of course, it's white to play. And the best move is checking the king, because if now the king goes in front of the pawn, well, there's not possible to survive. We are going to see this one as the main line. The other option is to take the bishop, but here we simply attack the pawn with the rook. The king comes back, so now threatening again to promote, but of course now we can approach the king, and even if we promote, we take it, and this is a loss. So over here, the other one is to go to the front of the pawn, forcing white to be smart, because the idea is there is a stalemate. So at the moment, the king can't move, as you can see. Uh, there are no useful checks because the pawn will take the rook. So only way is to remove the king to b3. Again, there's only one move, so until here we reach very fast. And now, yes, there are many ways with the rook. Basically, the rook can go to any square on the file except d1 for obvious reasons. Uh, and the best one, in my opinion, of course, is to go rook d2. Now, if the king comes back, we simply take the pawn. So this is no brainer. And if it promotes to the queen, then we have this beautiful check. The king moves to the side and checkmate. So as you can see, the other options, just to you to see. Well, this is very interesting because it seems similar. So if we promote to queen, then check, go to the side over here is not checkmate, but will be soon, whatever. But we are allowing black to have another complicated continuation, delivering a check, and now we take the bishop, and so we are. Of course, I made a mistake over here. I go to the side, and then I can control the knight. So the knight is lost, but of course, this is going to last far longer, and we need to be more precise than the correct move of the main line. And that's why I suggest you go with the rook d2 to finish the puzzle in style. Of course, here the knight promoting is not important because even if you take the bishop, we keep the rook, of course. And if we try to something smart, like doing something like this, well, we just maneuver with two pieces against the knight, and it's an easy win again for white. So this was a minimalist study, the genre, the typical study that Amelung produces. I hope you have enjoyed. Sometimes we have harder ones, sometimes easy ones. We never know, like in a game. And see you in the future studies. Bye bye.